Hello again. On Monday, more than 430 people landed on the coast of England, having travelled across the Channel from Belgium and France. They didn't go through the usual formalities of um, showing passports or passing through customs or anything like that. They simply went onto little boats in France, sailed across the Channel, and landed informally on the beaches of Kent. These are the ones about whom we know. The same number again probably landed in out of the way places and were not spotted before they made their way inland. This is an invasion. Thousands of people from Africa and the Middle East landing every week. All will require houses to be built for them, medical care, social services, benefits and so on. And what is the official response to this shocking state of affairs? 2 weeks ago, the Crown Prosecution Service announced publicly that they would no longer be prosecuting anybody for entering this country illegally. In effect, they have given the green light for anybody minded to jump in a boat and sail to Britain without going through all those tiresome customs like, applying for a visa, showing a passport, that sort of thing. They are now officially exempt from all that. I'm utterly baffled by this. All of us know that we can't just hop across borders into other countries with impunity. Or rather, we can do so on occasion, but if we're caught entering China or Russia, say, by just slipping over the border without telling anybody, we're going to be in really serious trouble. I won't say that I've never done such a thing in my life. I have. I entered Jordan once by hiking across the Negev from Israel with another man so that we could visit Petra. I was under no illusions at all, though, about how irritated both the Jordanians and the Israelis would be if I'd been spotted doing this. I might have ended up being shot as an infiltrating spy or member of the Fedayeen. At the very least, I could have ended up in prison. In fact, I would certainly have ended up in prison had I been caught at it. Why on earth do you suppose that the British have told everybody in the world that they can ignore our borders and just come and go as they please without going through the usual channels? I give a link in the description to this video to a newspaper article about what the CPS have said on this subject. For all that the Home Secretary talks so tough about immigration, it's plain she hasn't got the faintest idea how to deal with the problem. There is only one way of putting a stop to this nonsense, but it would require a tough approach. All those people landing on the beaches, often after they've been escorted across the Channel by lifeboats or border force vessels, should be detained in specially set up camps. They would be free to leave at once if they agreed to being put back on a ship to France. At the same time, we should reach an agreement with some African country so that we can offer them aid in exchange for permission to set up camps there to house illegal immigrants whom we have deported to live there while their applications for asylum are processed. Those would be the two options for those caught entering this country illegally, either to be shipped off to Africa or sent back to France. As things stand, those people know very well that even if their applications for asylum are refused, then they can simply vanish and remain in Britain for the rest of their lives. I hope that nobody thinks I don't care about people fleeing wars or persecution. I do. But all those people coming from France have passed through a dozen safe countries where they could have claimed asylum. They're not being persecuted in France at the moment, in those camps around Calais, and nothing at all is stopping them from claiming asylum there. I do not suppose for a moment that any kind of action will really be taken by any government in this country to curb the slow invasion which we are witnessing day by day. That it could be done is obvious. That it will not be done is equally obvious. The truth is that more and more uninvited visitors will land each day. On Monday it was 400 or 500, but there's no reason why the numbers will stop there. The way things are going, it can't be long before we see a day when 1,000 people land on the beaches of Kent in a single day. I'm bound to observe that some countries in Europe have managed to put a halt to this kind of thing. We think of Hungary, which erected barbed wire fences around their borders, and they routinely chuck out people who have not entered properly, just pushing them back across the border where they came from. If a landlocked country like Hungary can manage to stem the flow of illegal immigrants, then I honestly can't see why an island like Britain couldn't manage it. What it would require, though, would be a strong government led by a man or woman with courage and determination. Alas, we do not appear to have such a person leading the government just at the moment.